Great crowd for tonight's season opener in the Truck Series. Lights shining brightly on Daytona International Speedway. Our pace truck will pull down the pit lane, and the field will be in the hands of our pole sitter, Ty Majeski. He takes the inside lane. Outside of him, Johnny Sauter. Let's get 2024 underway at Daytona.
Looked like Johnny Sauter spun his wheels a bit, but that got him a push from behind. Matt Mills hit him in the back and shot him right up beside our pole sitter, Ty Majeski.
That bright yellow truck there, about sixth in line on the inside, thought about jumping inside the 41 of Bailey Curry, thought better of it.
They cannot lock bumpers. Remember that, guys. And NASCAR's told them they're going to keep their eyes on that. You can bump, but you can't lock. And this is some tight racing already. Get ready to watch this all night long. My heart rate will go sky high because it looks like they could wreck at any moment the way they bounce around.
Mine's already there.
2 by 2 by 2, 10 rows, maybe 12 rows deep on the opening lap.
Begin to pay attention too if you're at home. Watch how these trucks bob around, especially off the turns. That's what causes them to get in trouble. They get loose, they overcorrect, but it's just a difficult balancing act of how to hang on to a truck.
Remember, these trucks will go about 10 miles an hour faster than what they went in qualifying.
Look at 3 wide in the back. Ty Majeski has assumed the lead, taking it away with Corey LaJoie behind him. There's Ankrum with a big push. Look at that, 3 wide.
Brett Holmes at green number 32 with a little help from Lane Riggs in the yellow 38.
Corey Heim was back there. Christian Eckes, drivers we anticipate will be at the front before the night is over.
And that yellow line, remember, you cannot go below that yellow line to advance your position. You saw Majeski up off the bottom there exiting the corner. That means the truck was a bit out of control on him, but you cannot go below that yellow line, so he will try to stay pinned directly to it so that no one could get on the inside of him.
A lot of the drivers told me that this racetrack has got some more bumps than it used to have through the tri-oval and Rayleigh over just going in turn number 3.
I don't like what I'm seeing from Majeski early. He can't keep it pinned. I'd want to be right down on the bottom, but he's coming off the corner about a half truck blink up. This is tight racing.
Teammates working together in that outside lane. Sauter getting some drafting help from Matt Mills in the 42. And another one of their Chevy friends right behind him. The 2 is Nick Sanchez.
Oh, Thad Moffitt back there. Matt Crafton got a hold of the bumper of that bright, petty blue truck and got him out of the groove. You can see how far he's dropping back.
Look at all the damage to the 42 of Matt Mills in the front of that truck. You can see it on the outside. He's the lead truck on the outside.
And if there's damage like that, Phil, he can't lead a line. He'll be able to draft okay still, but if it's hurt, which it is, you can see the gap there. That hood could blow off.
Wrinkled up big time. Sauter, his teammate, drops down in front of Ty Majeski. Now he controls that inside lane.
And that's why Mills is falling back. He doesn't have the aerodynamic sleekness that he had at the start, and he'll continue to drop.
I think the 2 middle hood pins are not fastened right now.
I don't think that hood will last long. We'll see.
And he's trapped in that outside lane.
Sanchez tried to dive in that hole, but there just wasn't quite enough time. They need to go to the outside. There goes Sanchez.
And it's hard to explain how much pressure is on the nose of that Chevrolet truck.
And you can see he's dropping like a bag of rocks. Those guys split him, and he's in trouble. They can repair that. He could come back. But right now, he just needs to fall to the back and hope to hang on.
If you're going to have a problem, have it early. Stage breaks at lap 20 and lap 40. We will get cautions and should be able to put himself in position to come down, make repairs, stay in the game.
He's fallen back 20th or so, but he's in line now and he's on the bottom. That hood will have a lot of turbulence at it right now because of the wind coming off the other trucks. Watch for it to fail, those hood pins to fail, and that thing blow up. This is so intense. This early in the race, these guys in front are thanking their teams for giving them fast enough trucks to sort it out and get in single file.
I'm anxious to see what that outside lane can do now. They've gathered themselves up. Sanchez towing them around in the 2. Behind him, the 15 of Tanner Gray, and right behind him, Matt Crafton, the 3-time series champion in that bright yellow 88. And there goes Crafton. And we've got a crash. Gray around, the same for Sanchez.
Stuart Friesen in it.
Ty Dillon in the 25.
Dillon into the outside wall in hard contact with that Moffitt. Raja.
6 laps in, and we have our first caution of the night.
As you see Matt Mills right there, he barely avoided that. He had dropped to the back, and he barely avoided that.
Lots of damage to Moffitt's truck.
How big is this, though, for Matt Mills? You stay out of the mess, and you can come down, maybe make some repairs, and all these other drivers now having trouble. And one of them we saw there in the shot, the 9 of Grant Enfinger.
It looked like early on, you talked, Phil, Crafton was wanting to go to the outside. It looked like he thought about going to the outside and then turned down, and I think maybe could have possibly caused some contact there. Lawless Allen, right front flat.
Thad Moffitt done for the night.
That's so, we talk about Daytona and how special it is and how much you look forward to it, how anxious you are, and then just 6 laps in, have it all come to an end. We know how much Ty Dillon was looking forward to this race and this year to go out and win a championship in a truck. His night's over.
There's a 27 truck of Keith McGee with a lot of damage.
Jake Garcia, first real opportunity to compete in the draft. He's got heavy damage. Now Ty Dillon is giving it up. He's climbing from his truck.
What do you think, Phil? 10 trucks or so involved in this?
Certainly 10 involved. Some of them will be able to continue, but we're going to lose a few, just like this 25 Rackley truck of Ty Dillon.
Yeah, I think Matt Crafton can continue. He's sort of at the beginning of it. Not saying it was his fault, but he was at the beginning of what happened.
Oh, Tanner, sorry. The 19 just shoved me. Yeah, it's like he got a hold of me and just got me swerving back and forth and just kept shoving me.
He's talking about the 19 of Christian Eckes, kind of bumping him from behind and getting his truck out of shape.
I just want to tell you, this pushing, this bumping game is very, very difficult to manage. This is what Matt Crafton was talking about, as you see Eckes in the blue Napa truck right behind Crafton. Just turned him a little bit sideways. Lane Riggs, look at that job he's doing.
Yeah, then he got into the 15. Crafton got into the 15 of Tanner Gray. There's Ty Dillon getting into the outside wall of red and white. I mean white and blue truck, excuse me.
You see Crafton was about a half truck length up high on the back of Tanner Gray.
Tough break for Stuart Friesen there, the 52 Halmar truck.
Wow. Look at that dirt.
This would be a great shot of it here.
Right there.
He hit Lane Riggs hard. Watch Lane Riggs, that yellow truck, avoid the 15 of Tanner Gray.
Just slipped right through there, didn't he? Great job.
Looks like, is that Taylor Gray, maybe? Corey Heim avoiding Ty Dillon.
And did you see all the dirt that Grant Enfinger kicked up in the infield? Hopefully he can get that truck repaired.
Raja, the 71, also getting some damage.
Remember our buddy Ben Rhodes going to the back of the pack? He was making some ground. Let's ride with him and see what it looked like from his viewpoint. Wow.
And we saw him right behind Jake Garcia, and we saw all the damage on his truck.
12 trucks involved. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good at Daytona, right?
Well, I think that was a combination of both, because Ben Rhodes kept his truck pointed in the right direction, used a little bit of gas, used a little bit of brake, and then eventually saw the clear.
We made it 6 laps, and we get a caution. 12 trucks involved. More from Daytona after you watch this. For the 7th time in the last 9 races here at Daytona, we have a caution in the first 6 laps. 12 trucks involved, many coming down pit road, Regan.
Adam Corey LaJoie pits from the top 5 just now. Strictly a strategy play. They wanted to top the truck off with fuel, pack it as full as they could so they can go a little bit later into the run here.
So damage trucks coming down to do damage repair, but some of these drivers electing to play a little strategy under caution early.
I like the strategy. You talked at the very top of the show, strategy could come into play. Now these drivers and teams have enough fuel to get to the end of the 2nd stage at lap 40.
And we talked about Rich Lucius as the crew chief of Ben Rhodes. We talked about his playbook, and he just pulled a play out of it. He did what Adam mentioned. He came down and got that gas and raced to the end of this 2nd stage. Stay out at the end of this stage and get that track position.
Amanda?
I was talking to Joe Shearer earlier on what their strategy would be here in stage 1 if they saw a caution. He said, hey, we're going to stay out and see how far we can push this thing. He said that they would then consider coming in from fuel throughout the stages, but wants to make sure that they get these stage points early depending on what's going to happen in this race. And Ty just simply looked at me and said, yeah, whatever Joe says.
That's what makes stage racing so fun. You say, I'm going to pit and get to the end of stage 2. Oh, wait, I won't get any points in stage 1. What do I do about that? There's always that sacrifice you have to make. But the way Ben Rhodes was moving early in this race, he could get up into the top 10 before this is over.
Yeah, and Corey LaJoie is one of those guys that doesn't worry about points. He's not even eligible to receive points.
Here's a list of those drivers involved in the accident. You see Lane Riggs making his Daytona debut. Beat up pretty good, started 21st, but not so bad that he can't continue, so that's good news.
He can run 2nd for sure with that truck. He just needs somebody in front of him, and it's going to be fine.
Couple of more laps before we return to the green flag, so we'll take a break. Johnny Sauter, your race leader early at Daytona. When I think Daytona, I think fireworks, and we've had some early on track. 12 trucks involved, bringing out a caution. That happened at lap 6. Can't steal this man's spirit. He's ready to go.
Eastbound and down.
You said what it feels like to come here, Michael. I think he was acting out your feelings there.
That was a great video of it. That's how we all feel inside. Let's go. Danny Dye, nice job on the start of this race. Interesting.
Let's go down to Amanda.
Ty Dillon is clear from the care center. Said it was complete chaos out there, but he was working to get that truck up to the front as fast as possible. Walk us through, and I know you haven't seen a replay yet, but your experience in it.
That was the wildest couple laps I've ran. Everybody just kind of all over the place, not really having a plan. And our plan was to try to get our Iraqli Roofing 50th anniversary Silverado to the front. And it was just so crazy. I don't really know who started there. I saw the 88 start turning, so I checked up and thought I was going to be good enough. When I hit the grass right here, it just spun the rear tires, and thought I saved it coming across, and where we just had mild damage. And then, it's hard to dodge it all. But it's just crazy. You know, I think these races are so short, you got to really get after it pretty quick. I was trying to get us up front, so it's unfortunate we got taken out, but just a small hiccup at the start of the year.
Good that Johnny's out of the Advent Health Care Center. Restart, Johnny Sauter, outside lane, and we got 8 laps to go now on the stage.
Yeah, that was interesting. Johnny went high, and then the first 3 trucks on the bottom all went low. So just some differing strategy there. But look at them stack up. That's what's so difficult. You're 4 or 5 trucks backfield, you don't know they're stacking up. Next thing you know, oh, there's a big move.
And these trucks push such a big hole in the air. Their closing rate is amazing.
By the way, that was Ty Dillon that came from the care center. Johnny Sauter leading this race.
That was Corey Roper, the 04 truck that pulled to the outside to make it 3 wide. Nobody went with him.
I don't know if he bailed or not, but that's exactly what happened. I mean, he didn't make if that was a calculated move to try to go forward, it wasn't a good one. Bailey Curry right on the back of his teammate, Johnny Sauter. Maybe Johnny said, I'll go high and maybe those guys will go low and I'll get Bailey behind me. We saw the bottom prevail earlier, but look at Majeski off the bottom again. Watch that 98 truck. I think he might have his hands full.
Hey, those Nice trucks, though, have worked well together. We saw Matt Mills giving the shove early. Here it's Bailey Curry helping out Johnny Sauter.
Well, he turned him sideways a little bit, it looked like.
Maybe too aggressive,
A little bit too aggressive, a little bit too much of a push. That's the thing you have to guard against. Sometimes these front bumpers don't line up exactly with the rear bumpers, and we've seen a lot of pushes go really bad.
And when you can see things start to go bad is when they wander up off the bottom, exiting the corner, because then they got the wheel in it. Cut to the bottom. Next thing you know, the back end comes out. Look at what Daniel sees ahead of him.
Bumper tight ahead there.
He cannot see the leader. He cannot see the truck ahead of Tyler Ankrum. And look at the dancing around again for the 98.
They're all dancing around, it looks like.
I'm telling you, this makes me crazy.
Look how tight Johnny is on Ankrum's door, side drafting.
If you want to know
shove hard on him.
Why the spotter plays such a big role at Daytona, just watch this.
You do get kind of linked up with somebody, just be careful about the lock and bumpers deal, but if you're there for just for a sec, just release them getting into the corner.
Oh. I know those Cup drivers down there and Xfinity drivers are in their campers or hotels watching these guys dance around and say, man, this is a wild race.
5 to go, stage 1.
You sure it's just 5 to go in the first stage?
Look at that. There you go. Oh. Keep your eye on 98. He's got his hands full. Mike's. Ooh, up the middle. Decided better of it.
Caution's out. Lawless Allen with a problem in the 33.
Yeah, Lawless had some damage from that first incident we
Fire
had.
back up, come rolling.
Looks like the right rear tire. Yeah, more than probably a tire rub after the damage he had. That'll probably do it for this stage, I would think.
Lane Riggs back to pit road for more repairs on that right front fender. He's now 2 laps down, and all his chances of winning are gone. There goes the right rear tire.
Yeah.
On the 33 truck. He just spins around.
See if we can see some debris coming off that truck. Look, maybe the splitter apparatus off the front of that truck.
Matt Mills slips by on the bottom.
Yeah, he had some pretty serious issues there. That's the
Keith
27
McGee.
of Keith McGee. He was involved in that first incident as well.
Came down to race from Alaska, did Keith McGee. Anytime you have damage, you're going to have flat tires after that.
You see the splitter is completely gone off of Lawless Allen's truck.
Coming to lap 17. If we do go back racing, it's just going to be one lap.
Yep.
And that'll be a wild one, I would think.
And we're hearing from NASCAR. They want to get this thing restarted before the end of the stages. Lane Riggs goes behind the wall, Amanda.
Yeah, Adam, you hate to see it. The Bahama native is going back to the garage. His team was telling him that they apologize and that they're sorry. And Lane just said, dang, you can do everything right, and this is how it happens.
I know he's frustrated and disappointed, but we're going to see a lot more of Lane Riggs this year.
A lot of people using some strategy again, Phil. There's Daniel Dye coming to pit road. Getting his fuel now to giving up stage points. You got to make that decision. Like I said, it's a balancing act. He will obviously stay out. And Stephen Parsons. Stephen's not running all the races, so he can use a whole playbook. He doesn't care about stage points.
Cody in that same situation.
Yeah, Cody Robaugh looking under the right rear. I think maybe checking the shock and make sure they don't have an issue with the shock.
Wonder if he doesn't like the way it's driving or something, maybe.
You saw the rear tire changer kind of wobbling the tire to make sure it didn't have too much play in it, like there was a hub issue or something like that. And this is a solid rear axle on these trucks, much like the Xfinity cars. The Cup cars have independent rear suspension. Tough break for Lane Riggs.
The top lane, somebody's like pushing like it's the last lap, and they just turn right down.
Amanda?
Lane, we saw how you got out of the truck. I know this is an emotional moment for you. Before we kicked off, you said that you were in awe. How do you describe it now?
I just want to go race. I want to get out there on the track and race and learn. And man, that really, really stings. You know, we had a stupid fast truck. It was coming to the front so fast and it's handling so good. And I guess they were pushing on the outside lane like it was the last lap already. I mean, I'm not a super speedway expert by any means, but I know that was a little too early. So really hate it for these guys. Thank you to Love Travel Stop for getting me here to the racetrack. I just want to rebound. I want to come back. This is not how this year's going to go.
Thank you, Lane.
Well, we saw yesterday how much it meant for him to be here, and this is how much it means, how disappointed he is for what happened there. Very aggressive racing, but that's, if you watch a replay from last year, the year before, the year before that, that's what you're going to get.
Every year.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And again, in the first stage, in the first 20 laps of the race.
Tanner Gray got the free pass and is going to go around and line up at the back of the field. And as you see here, folks choosing, so we're going to go back green for one lap of racing.
29 trucks on the lead lap, which is hard to believe when you consider we had 12 trucks involved in that incident at lap 6.
Yeah, we lost 4 trucks. 4 trucks are listed as out of the race.
Tomorrow on FS1, the Future Stars are back with roaring engines and grueling nonstop action. See who claims the first checkered flag of the season. It's NASCAR's Xfinity Series, 5 Eastern time on FS1.
And guys, if I was one of those drivers that decided to use some strategy, I would stay well back of this field on this restart.
Well, that's the direction they're going to get from their spotter and their crew chief. We've played our hand here, and part of playing our hand means we're going to lay back and not get in this mess if something was to break out on this one lap sprint. See Ben Rhodes, we know where he started, and he's been to pit road, got gas, and he's all the way up to 12th position. So he's probably thinking stage points, wouldn't you guess, Phil?
Absolutely. Yeah, whole different scenario for somebody like that has a chance to get some stage points.
There's going to be a handful of drivers that started outside the top 20 that no doubt are going to get some stage points here. The give and take and strategy and accidents at a place like Daytona can really shake it up in a hurry.
And you may say, why are we talking about stage points first race of the year? You come race 16 with 7 to go, they're going to become extremely important.
Just if you're missing 1 point, it might be the difference between making the playoffs and not.
And Ty Majeski doesn't just want stage points. He wants a playoff point because he feels like he can win the championship later this year, and winning this stage would put a playoff point in his bucket. Final lap opening stage. Sauter, Majeski on the front row.
Both lanes are really organized from the first to the second trucks in line.
Tyler Ankrum in that orange truck is really beating the back of that 98 truck, and we know how unstable it's been on exit of the corner. He's able to pin it down pretty good there. Look at Johnny Sauter.
3 wide.
Oh,
debris is flying. Sauter down on the inside lane, getting pushed by his teammate Bailey Curry. Majeski back to third. Ankrum through in fourth. That's 17. The orange and black truck is Taylor Gray.
See Eckes leading the outside line, that blue Napa truck.
Back to the line. To end stage 1, Majeski out of line, but it's going to be Johnny Sauter who takes it. That's his 5th stage win at Daytona, the most all time.
Wow. Okay, breathe now, Phil. we get a break.
I lost a few breaths on the backstretch there.
Oh, man. This is crazy.
Stage 1 complete. Sauter, Majeski, Curry, Ankrum, Taylor Gray, the top 5. Craftsman is offering race fans different deals throughout the season. Look out for the Craftsman QR code later in the race to take advantage of tonight's Daytona deal of the race.
The deal of the race. Here's the deal on the points from stage 1. Johnny Sauter collected 10. Bailey Curry with another nice job. We talked yesterday during practice. I think this is a win waiting to happen.
How about Brett Holmes, 5 points. Jack Wood, 4 points.
What about Corey Heim? He's been to pit road and got a stage point. We talked about that being possible.
And will stay out here, we're quite sure.
There are 3 drivers that finished inside the top 10, got stage points, that started the evening outside the top 20. And as you mentioned, some of those drivers have already been to pit road.
And if I'm running 25th, watching all those trucks up ahead bob and weave around, like, how do you go through all that? I mean, you just, I know I'm old, but it makes me want to lay back and see what happens. That's why we don't do this anymore, Phil.
Yeah, we had 1 wreck, but we had a lot more wrecks that just didn't happen.
That's exactly right, and they're gonna. You can't race like this and not wreck.
Pit road will be open this time.
We're going to see a mixed bag of strategies here too. Here, and maybe the front runner is going to pit.
Johnny Sauter's going to get a splash of fuel.
And maybe Majeski stays out.
Stays out and is going to try to run to the end of the second stage, or maybe try to catch another caution prior to the end of the second stage.
And these teammates coming down. Majeski stays out. So does Tyler Ankrum. Taylor Gray. Brett Holmes coming down as well, Amanda.
You look at him pull into his pit box. He's going to take gas only here. He was talking about the splitter a little bit, but I think that they're going to assess that later on. Regan?
Johnny Sauter, just a splash of fuel is all they needed. He said the handling on that truck is great. No changes for him. And the 41 of Bailey Curry just a little bit tight off of the corners. Fuel only for him as well.
Interesting. We've had 3 trucks stay out that have not been to pit road yet, along with Majeski, Ankrum, and Eckes.
Let's give Johnny Sauter a shout out. See what he thinks about that truck. Hey, Johnny Sauter, Michael Waltrip and the Fox team. Do you copy? Hello. Hello, Johnny Sauter. Hey, Johnny Sauter, it's the Fox team. You copy? Huh. Well, let's go to break. That didn't work.
Maybe we'll ring him later.
I'll give him a call.
If he wins stage 2, huh? Stage 2 comes your way next. Lining up for the start of our second stage at Daytona. It's race 1 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. We're at Daytona International Speedway with Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I'm Adam Alexander. Ty Majeski staying out.
You know, and I thought he would want a chassis adjustment. That thing looked like it wasn't handling wet, but that tells you how important that track position is. We talked about before qualifying how you want to control the race, and he's in a position to do that, and he doesn't want to give it up.
Top 3 trucks yet to pit.
We talked to the teams as well, and they said 34 was a limit on fuel, but we've had so many caution laps, they feel confident that they can stretch it out.
Yeah, and remember, we had 3 pace laps as well as a bit of a warm-up on pit road in addition to those 20 laps. But again, here see Joe Shear. There's 3 crew chiefs right now that think they can make it to lap 40.
Joe Shear's a bit of a gambler, isn't he?
Totally.
Matt Crafton has had an interesting go at it so far. Still in the top 10, was in that big crash.
That's that bright yellow truck you see, 5th in line on the inside. Daniel Dye, the 43 red and white truck right behind him.
Tony Breidinger in the 1 doing some impressive stuff early, lining up 6 for the restart.
My biggest concern is that if we lead everybody here, how much fuel we're going to use. That's my concern too.
Well, you made your bed. You're going to have to lay in it because it's kind of hard to hide. What about this guy? He just got the free pass, and the team has been working hard on that truck, and it looks like it's in decent shape. Stuart Friesen, a dirt racer from Canada, raced over at Volusia County Speedway last night in his dirt modified. He's raced stuff as bent up as that in won races, I bet.
New crew chief on board this year, Jimmy Villeneuve.
He's probably pretty comfortable with what he's got going on. He asked Jimmy, how's it look? Jimmy said, it looks great, Stuart.
But we've seen it over the years at this place. Never give up. Because
That's right.
You never know when the big one's going to happen. You're going to get cautions. You can get laps back. So you just stay in the game till the very end, and you got a shot at Daytona. Majeski goes outside, Ankrum inside. Row 2 going to be Eckes and Heim. Row 3, Rhodes and Breidinger.
Tony with the row 3 outside restart here. We'll see what she's able to do. This has got to have her eyes wide open, doesn't it, Phil?
Yeah, that's her teammate, the 11 of Corey Heim, right in front of her.
Ben Rhodes started in the back, all the way up in the top 5.
Pace truck is in. It's go time. Second stage.
Big push on the bottom.
Look at Sands.
Grant
Enfinger jumps to the outside of Tony Breidinger.
He was involved in the crash at lap 6, and here he is in the 9 making a play.
That didn't work, so he bails, gets back to the middle.
Had to get back in line to get some draft.
There's his old teammate, Rajah Caruth, now driving for Spire in the 71, giving a push to that 9.
We saw the 42 of Matt Mills bent up early in the race, falling back. Look at him go now.
Wow.
There's Majeski. He falls back.
Tyler Ankrum grabs the lead on the restart. That's Eckes in second.
How about Corey Roper, the 04 truck? He's got a top 5 finish here before. Ooh, he moved up the racetrack.
These guys up front are happy. Got them strung out single file for now. See how long that lasts.
See if Corey Heim can get a little momentum on the high side with that 11 truck.
Pushing that outside lane from Ty Majeski.
Looks like a strong run up there. Here comes Sanchez to join it. He looked in the mirror and saw how strong they were coming. Decided he wanted to be a part of that party.
Hit a big wiggle.
Yeah, and the spotter said there's momentum on the high side. He jumped up there. Oh, a little bit sideways there, wasn't he?
They all are to me.
Daniel Dye, solid start to the night. Tucked in that inside lane. Red and white truck behind Matt Crafton.
Sanchez looks like he's got some good speed up there, especially with that push from the behind that Heim's been able to give him.
See him staying really close to that yellow truck of Crafton, trying to pull that truck back a little bit.
And it worked too, Phil. You saw that gap widen. Now Crafton's got a push from Daniel Dye. Looks like Corey LaJoie's thinking high. He wants to be a part of that party on the outside.
So just give me a little help. Give me a little push, Nick Sanchez.
A couple of Chevrolets working together outside lane.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. You saw Daniel lose the nose there.
Man, Eckes had to hang on to it in the inside lane. Ben Rhodes giving him a shove.
That was a huge moment for Daniel Dye.
That's how easy it goes away from you. He looked like he was steady and solid right on the yellow line, lost the nose and almost caused a crash.
Ben Rhodes from the back to the front, inside the top 5, jumps to that outside lane. He's getting a push now from Corey LaJoie.
Watch this moment for Daniel Dye. See him drifting up off the bottom, drifting up,
and finally has to turn the wheel left, and sideways he gets.
That's a big save. See what happens with his foot here. Briefly off the gas and right back to the mat.
If he doesn't get back in the gas, he's going to get run over from behind.
Look at this outside line. Who's coming? Who's leading it? Can we go from last to first?
I think we can. It's about to happen. Ben Rhodes drops to the rear, no problem. He said, you can call me two-time. And here he is looking for the lead at Daytona, middle stages of stage 2.
We were talking to Rich Lucis yesterday. He said, I have the best drafter in the field in my truck, and that's Ben Rhodes.
And he's got the second best drafter, in my opinion, in the field, Corey LaJoie, right on his tailgate.
So important. Ooh, Ankrum gets a little bit sideways up off the corner. These trucks are a handful.
They are that.
7 still with you. I'd like to bring the 7 with us. 7 still tight on you.
That's Frank Denny Jr.
Caution's out. Caution's out.
Oh, good. I can breathe.
4th caution of the night. And there's the reason why. Debris in turn 3.
Somebody's carcass of a tire is over there.
I believe it's Stuart Friesen. Stuart came to pit road, the right rear flat. Can he get that tire changed? We're going to have to figure out what caused it as well. They're going to put 4 on it.
9 to go, stage 2. Caution is out. Tyler Ankrum is your leader at Daytona. Great to have you with us live from Daytona. It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on FS1. Fourth caution of the night. Produces some takers on pit road. Strategy, strategy, strategy. Why would you pit here, Phil?
I like pitting here, putting tires on if that's what you want to do. And then I would come into the end of the stage just for a little splash of fuel. Then you beat everybody that puts tires on. And most of the people told me in the garage that they wanted to put 4 tires on at the end of the second stage. And that opened up the strategy for them in the third stage and final stage.
And now, if you do it now, you just ride. You know, you don't heat up your tires that much. And then you come and get that splash of gas so that you can be on the same page as the other trucks that have gas, so you don't have to short pit. But all that is tempered by when's the caution going to fly?
Oh gosh.
And the way it looks out there, it's going to fly often.
Regan?
Adam Tyler Ankrum out front leading this race right now. A fun conversation, though, back and forth with his team about what his truck's doing.
Really free. It's just that front downforce when you're leading like that. It looks like it'll go, though. It leads pretty damn good. I mean, that thing, you can pull out, do what you want, man. Just keep it under here, go win the stage.
I got to say, I love how the crew chief explained to him exactly why it was getting freer up front there to give him an understanding of that. They did follow it up with they will make an adjustment when they make their pit stop to help him out just a little bit.
Just keep it under you and go win the stage. Yeah, okay, that's a great plan. I hope I can do just that for you guys. But man, that thing is very loose.
Ankrum making his 5th start at Daytona in the Truck Series. He's led laps every time.
Wow.
He's a cowboy.
The cattle,
got a bit of a bucking bronc out there tonight at times in the draft, right?
The cattle farmer from California, living in Statesville, North Carolina, running a cattle farm.
We know we're going to run at least one more lap. 6 to go now, so if they get the 1 to go next time, then they'll have 4 laps to decide this stage.
Matt Mills, we saw the problems early with that truck.
And they had a penalty for improper driver assist, so he will have to come from the tail on the restart.
Oh, describe what that means.
I've given all I know. Maybe we could go next door and get some help from our friends at NASCAR.
Improper driver assist.
They just give me short sentences, you know? Now, see, I looked at you when I said that, and I was waiting for you to jump in and give us more.
I'll tell you what let's do, Adam. Let's go to break, and I'm going to get my rule book out and tell you exactly what he did.
And when we return, inside of 5 laps to go, stage 2. The biggest day in racing just got bigger as Grand Marshal Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will kick off the Daytona 500. The Great American Race returns Sunday, 2:30 Eastern Time, only on Fox. Coverage begins with race day here on FS1, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Johnny Sauter came down and his team got a penalty, and we've added a lap here, so we're going to wait one more time around before we go green. And as we await the restart, we remind you aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, powering every mile and every moment on NASCAR's road to victory. Goodyear, more driven.
Lights off on the pace vehicle.
Had a one-lap run to finish stage one. Going to have 3 laps on the board as we resume here in stage 2 to finish things off. And I would say this is going to be a pretty good low finish.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be wild. We know that. A couple of guys up in front that are running low on fuel. If one of those things were to stumble, that could cause a heck of a mess.
I would say all these caution laps, though, have gone a long way in ensuring that they can make it all the way and be fine to come back and make their pit stop. Christian Eckes inside of row 2.
Man, I am so selfish when it comes to this stuff, man. I know what you wanted to do, but you can't do that. Just be smart, so just be smart and be the good player here.
He's saying he wants to win.
Yeah, he's selfish.
He wants to
and he's
take
supposed
it,
to be selfish.
But they're saying maybe help your teammate. See if you can push somebody along.
We did media day for the Daytona 500 a couple days ago, Larry Mack and I. And he reminded Denny, next gen car, maybe your stats at the super speedways haven't been as good. Denny said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be more selfish. You have to be selfish to win in this format, right?
Got a good glimpse at Charles Denike, the crew chief for Christian Eckes, 4-time winner last year in the Truck Series. And yes, you have to be selfish.
Thank you for that. I thought you were just ignoring me.
No,
actually.
no. Oh, no. Never ignore you.
No, we're a team.
Yeah. You might be selfish at the end a little bit, but.
A little bit of a brief shower fleet floated through the area. Just heavy mist. Hopefully that'll go away.
We're still scheduled to get this restart. Lights still off the pace vehicle.
Hey, real quick on Matt Mills, they had the improper driver assist. Someone came over to service the driver, also made an adjustment on the truck. That's a no-no. So that's what that penalty was, wanted to clean that up.
So Matt didn't do anything wrong.
Matt didn't do anything wrong.
I thought he was trying to assist. I just figured out what the heck was he doing.
3 to go, stage 2. Front row, Ankrum and Rhodes. And if you're just joining us, Ben Rhodes started this race in the rear.
Big push by Christian Eckes on the back of that 18 truck. Look at it go, too. But watch Corey LaJoie. He's going to have the same bump on the outside. Get a hold of Ben Rhodes and shove him up there. What about Matt Crafton in the bright yellow truck? He's been aggressive all night long. He's up to 3rd.
Daniel Dye hanging tough. Ty Majeski continues in the mix. Grant Infinger in the 9, a part of the equation.
Wasn't he in the dirt on the back straightaway a little while ago?
A lot of dirt.
These guys are
Here comes that outside line. Here it comes. A little bit of momentum there. See Ben Rhodes side by side with Daniel Dye. Daniel, the 43 truck, and gets sideways and almost runs off the racetrack.
And did you see that 99 truck look for an escape?
2 to go, second stage.
Quarter off him. Still quarter off him.
You know, Daniel's lost the nose a couple of times here. He needs to watch out. Keep it pinned to the bottom. You lose the nose a couple of times and get that loose.
You mentioned some precipitation. We've got a caution for weather. A mist on the front straightaway. 5th caution of the night. Comes out with a couple of laps to go in our second stage. Tyler Ankrum is leading and trying to win stage 2 for a second straight season here at Daytona.
That's an interesting stat, Adam. That kid can get it done on the big tracks.
You know, now the rule is the end of the second stage or halfway, whichever comes first, would make it an official race. And we don't need to run but just a couple laps under caution here, and we would have an official race. But boy, I kept checking the weather and the radar, and I never saw this coming for sure.
This is going to go away. We're going to keep racing.
And remember, if these trucks stay out running under caution to try to keep the track as dry as you can, those two trucks running 1-2 have not been to pit road yet for fuel.
And the first cat that has is that bright yellow truck of Matt Crafton. He might be thinking, let it rain.
Yeah, and I'd give those trucks a little bit of room if I'm Matt Crafton.
It's deja vu. We fought this last year.
Yes, we did.
Zane Smith didn't mind.
No, well, he kind of minded. He had to win it twice.
Yeah, he did.
But he did.
When it was all said and done, he was holding an umbrella and a trophy.
It's just a little cell. If it was a big storm, I'd say, yeah, let's chance it, but it's just a little cell. And they're already going to run the ARCA race tonight at like 10, so they're fine with staying here late.
Yeah, we're going to stay here late tonight.
That was J. Rod Prince talking to Crafton. We're going to stay late. We're going to get that ARCA race in tonight.
We have established we are committed to being productive and racing throughout the evening at Daytona.
Look at that door dinghy there. Got a wheel mark. That says everything you need to know about Daytona.
And that's your third place running truck right now.
And your 8th place running truck is all dirty because he went spinning through the infield on the back straightaway.
So they're going to bring him down pit road, and they will take them to the turn 1 side of pit road. So they will cross the start finish line, completing our second stage. Tyler Ankrum, back-to-back years winning stage 2 at Daytona. It's his 3rd career stage victory overall. Eckes, Crafton, Dye, Rhodes in the top 5. Majeski, LaJoy up there. Infinger gets points. So does Sanchez, and Corey Heim completes the top 10 in stage 2.
Whew. Yeah, they'll make sure all the trucks will cross the start finish line, which runs all the way from the outside wall to the inside pit wall.
Got a pretty good view of the rain or the mist that was falling, and it's really basically gone away. It got a little bit heavy when they threw the caution, and now I don't hardly see it at all.
Yeah, it's not raining hard. We've not lost the track.
You could see there just barely misting now, and it was a little heavier, so it looks bad from that angle.
That looks worse, yeah. But keep in mind how big this track
2.5
is, right?
miles.
I mean, one end might not be raining at all, the other end totally different story. This is what we were talking about a year ago.
Pesky rain showers.
Frustrating.
Zane with the friendly umbrella. And remember, Phil, he had that umbrella even when it wasn't raining. He just wouldn't put it down.
His good luck charm.
Yeah, I'm glad you made that point, Adam, because right here at the start-finish line, that mist is gone, but maybe a half mile away,
that camera shot
story.
Made a liar of us, didn't it? I mean, I was all ready to say it's out of here, and then we saw a view from a different portion of the track that told a totally different story. Well, Phil said it. The rules in NASCAR are you either get to halfway or the end of stage 2, whichever is first, to make the race official. So we have accomplished that. Stage 2 is complete.
Why don't we see if we can talk to our leader and stage 2 winner. Hey, Tyler Ankrum, Phil Parsons, and the boys in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
I got you, boys.
Nice job there. Congrats on winning stage 2. Are you a little low on fuel, you think?
Yeah, I think our crew chief Mark Hillman's a little excited to be leading this thing. Got in the truck, he said it's time to let the peacock fly, and he kept me out there, been saving a lot of fuel. Got a pretty nice piece for this race, so we're going to come in here and top off on fuel, get back going.
Sounds good. It's been fun to watch. You guys have those trucks don't look like they're that easy to drive, though, Tyler.
No, especially when solder's literally only giving you an inch on your door and trying to spin you out. It can be a handful sometimes.
Now, he's a veteran. He wouldn't be doing that on purpose, would he?
No, not to the kids, not at all.
All right, Mark. It's your turn to tell me what's going on. You told him that thing, he said it was loose, and you said hang on to it and win the stage. He did his job, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he looks good out there.
He does that. You brought him a heck of a truck. Are you concerned at all with the truck refiring, or do you think you're going to be good to get back to the pit?
No, we're good. We had plenty of cautions. Even without all these caution laps, we were going to be good. So we're fine.
I like your confidence. Done a great job. See if you can finish this baby off.
Thank you.
Thank you, boys.
He's laid back, isn't he?
Yeah.
I knew he was laid back when he told Tyler just hang on to it and win the stage. I mean,
No problem. I know it's a handful to drive. Just hang on to it.
Great to be back at Daytona. Great to see the trucks rolling. The red flag has been lifted. We've returned to the caution. This not the side I was hoping to see for Daniel Dye.
We saw him, his truck failed to start for qualifying. He was able to be pushed off and it ended up with a top 10 run, but it will not start. You see the truck pulling up there, and this will not penalize him.
no, he gets a free push.
Yeah,
and
he'll
get
be
it
able
started.
to pull right back up into his spot. He was running fourth and finished fourth in this stage. There it fires off right there, so he's good to, he says thank you. He's good to go.
I would say thank you too.
Yes.
It beats the alternative.
Yes. What a great looking truck though for Daniel Dye.
Yeah. What a great start to this race.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed by Matt Crafton too, the veteran. He's seeing all these trucks bouncing and sliding. Heck, he's even been run into and bounced off of other trucks, but he's really committed to try to get his truck to the front. Really doing a nice job.
Got a little bit of a wound, but no harm, no foul. I mean, Crafton's a little beat up. You got Ben Rhodes up there who started in the back. Grant Enfinger was involved in that crash at lap 6. All these drivers picking up stage points in stage number 2.
Last year there were 20 drivers that were involved in incidents, but that doesn't mean 20 different trucks. Some of them more than once, just like we're talking about now. These guys have been involved in an incident, but yet still up here contending for the lead.
Talking about stage points, here's the breakdown. Ankrum leads the way with 17. Majeski's had a good night after starting on the pole. Solid for Eckes, who qualified outside the top 20.
Just gotta
is there.
Got to remember how important each of those stage points are. Be the difference between making the playoffs and not.
So we open up pit road, and we'll see how the various strategies are built on here, because drivers have been doing a lot of different things so far in this race.
Yeah, you got to watch for contact too, Adam, when you have all these different strategies. Guys pulling into their pits, others pulling out.
Let's see how it unfolds. Amanda?
Adam, I'd make an argument. Another guy that's had a great night is Ben Rhodes. He started from the rear. He came in. He ended up you look at Ty Majeski there on the right-hand side. It's going to be 4 tires for that team and some fuel on the left-hand side. The 88 of Matt Crafton. He wanted to make a little bit of adjustment in that truck. He asked for a wedge adjustment. The team said he could not make that happen, but did have the track bar adjustment. Also some air pressure for some issues with the splitter. Regan?
Tyler Ankrum finally getting the adjustments for the loose truck that he wants. They took 4 tires and made those adjustments in the 19 of Christian Eckes. No complaints. He's just ready to go still.
Race off pit road is big here because you take control of this race for the final stage.
I don't know if I want control, Adam.
Yeah, maybe you don't.
It's been wild up there on that front row. Trucks on the bottom sliding up into the ones on the outside. But it's been entertaining, I'll tell you that. I talked about coming and going. Watch this guy go with the 76 of Spencer Boyd trying to get in his pits twice. Corey Heim, whoa. Okay, I'll do it now. Nope.
What a heads-up move, though, by Spencer Boyd to stop.
That's what you do right there. I mean, he also had time to stop.
That got pretty snug.
Yes, very tight on pit road. Hot dog, that was fun.
Well said. We're ready for the final stage here at the World Center of Racing. We'll reset things and put the green flag in the air one more time after a break on FS1. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series opening up 2024 at Daytona International Speedway. And if the second half of this race is anything like the first, we're in for a real treat because it's been entertaining to say the least. A little bit of everything so far.
Looks like some work on the roof flaps. Maybe.
Or the antenna, maybe the radio antenna.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yes, that is what they were doing. Must have had a radio communication issue.
You certainly want to be able to hear your spotter here.
What about the truck running third on the inside lane there? Stuart Friesen. I talk about the Northeast modified racer, dirt modified. His truck's all dinged up, and he's in the top 5 getting ready to restart this race.
He's one of the 4 trucks running up front right now that did not pit at the end of the stage.
Oh,
Ty Majeski had a penalty over the wall too soon.
You can see that right there.
Then he left, but he started over the wall. You can't do that.
Yeah, his foot was on pit road. You only get 1 pit box.
I think there were 2 crew members that were over the wall too.
We have a officiating crew that studies all the data that happens on pit road and then makes those calls. So, and there's no hiding from that video for sure.
Majeski starts on the pole, got a ton of stage points, which helps should he have some kind of an issue here, restarting 19th, because he could very well be in the middle of the mess as we hit this final stage.
I think when you're on the front row, you're in the middle of the mess.
Yeah, you are. Holmes and Sauter take the green flag from that front row.
Nice start by Holmes. Good push from Tanner Gray. Now Holmes will bail and get to the bottom.
Mike Shiplett, crew chief, coming on board Brett Holmes' team this year, former winner in the Xfinity Series as well as the Cup Series with Cole Custer.
Look at Friesen. I talked about his truck. Now he's going to have his hands full because he needs to handle a bit. He needs some downforce. We'll see if he can hang on to it. If anybody can, it's him.
Was involved in that incident early. Here he comes in the outside lane. A little shove from Chase Purdy. Corey Heim is right there.
Tanner Gray can choose which lane he wants to go in right now. He's going to stay high to try to keep these trucks side by side, but Brett Holmes is fighting back on the inside. A little momentum there on the outside. Tanner doesn't want to get too far out in front.
You can see the damage on the left front of his truck. And here comes Holmes. Oh, he's going to go up high. Hangs on to it.
Tanner Gray, no stranger to success at Daytona. Top 5 here the last 2 years, including a runner-up a season ago. 5th different driver to lead tonight.
How about Johnny Sauter, that 45 white truck second spot with a nice push to Brent Holmes to put him out in front. Bailey Curry, the 41, lining up. And there's Stuart Friesen with all the tape flapping and bodywork flapping. Christian Eckes jumping to the inside.
Oh, no, don't try to shut the hole.
That was Tanner Gray, the 15, got shoved out of line, looked to come back down, not clear, and he's going to go in the wrong direction. Caution is out. 6th of the night. That's the 27. That's Keith McGee.
Keith had been in an accident earlier.
Looks like a single truck incident. Fortunately.
See Keith moving around in the truck, getting the net down. We got to come fix this, Phil.
Yeah, that's a little bit too much, I think.
Or do we? He's running
still
fourth.
Running 4th. Yeah, hasn't lost any ground.
Safety team there to check on Keith.
Already made contact, it looks like, with a wall. He's going to end up in the grass in the tri-oval.
Wow, that's a hard hit, Phil.
Yeah, and so many times, and we saw it earlier, when you have some damage from a previous wreck, you're going to get tire rubs and flat tires. I'm not sure that was the case for Keith. And you're going to get some flapping.
Yes. Look at the way the front end's caved in there too. It's amazing he's able to keep it up in that front pack.
A couple of laps shy of the halfway point. We'll come back after a moment on FS1. Tomorrow on Fox Primetime Hoops, it's another chapter in a big rivalry as Tyson Walker leads Michigan State in a showdown against Michigan. It all tips off 8 Eastern Time, 5 Pacific on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Go Blue!
Well, if you're from Michigan, Phil, who do you root for, Michigan or Michigan State here?
I didn't go to either school. I went to Oakland University, so I can go either way.
All right, we got basketball coming up after our truck race tonight. Mountain West action as New Mexico takes on San Diego State. And because rain is expected here in the Daytona area tomorrow, they've moved the ARCA race from tomorrow to tonight. Coverage starts 10:30 Eastern Time on FS2. And then as soon as we finish basketball, New Mexico and San Diego State, we will resume coverage of racing here at Daytona with the conclusion of that ARCA race. And you can watch it all on the Fox Sports app.
We have a lot of racing left to do here in this truck race.
Yes. First things first, right?
Yeah. Just about to halfway in this race.
It's been a wild one. I know we've had a lot of cautions, but we've also had a lot of opportunities for more cautions, and these drivers have been able to hold onto their truck somehow. Like to see it get into a rhythm, run some laps here, see who can take control of this race.
These drivers have elected to top off with fuel.
MJ.
He's taking in the truck race here.
Big race fan.
Mm-hmm.
His name ain't just on the building. He's involved in the team and loves this sport.
Some of my favorite moments are when he's on the pit lane after a race, got his arm around Bubba or Tyler and debriefing with them about their race.
Big win for Tyler last night.
Yes.
Nearly wrecked coming to pit road and Made a great move late to get the victory.
So tonight we open 2024 here at Daytona. Let's go over some of the highlights that you'll see on the schedule this season. No more dirt.
We're not going to see any dirt on the schedule this season, but we will go to Bristol twice.
I love Bristol.
Yeah, in March and September.
Getting there in March on the concrete will be a fun race. And look at Martinsville doubling up there on the concrete turns.
November 1st, an elimination race to determine who's in the championship 4. And we're going back to North Wilkesboro for a second straight year.
With brand new pavement.
And oh yeah, Phoenix is where we'll decide our champion again. Ben Rhodes hoping to go back-to-back and become 3-time.
Coming to the 1 to go. Choose it up.
You know, Michael, you mentioned the lack of rhythm. How challenging for a driver when you just can't get it going.
Well, the frustrating thing, I think, for someone like Tyler Ankrum, you know, he's leading the race. He's in control of it. Because of all the cautions, guys that don't have that fast of trucks have been able to take some chances. We talked about the playbook, having all kinds of different options because of the stage breaks. Ankrum's now outside the top 10, and he's got his work cut out for him. We saw how bad it was handling up front. We'll see how he's going to be in traffic.
Amanda?
Just heard quickly there, you saw the 98 back at the pit box. They wanted to come in for a little more fuel.
Yeah, not a bad plan to top off, but with 50 laps to go, we know that these trucks can go 40 laps. We saw a couple trucks do that, Ankrum and Eckes. That's with about half of those laps being run under caution.
Another truck on pit road, Matt Mills, as they continue to try to repair the damage done in the first couple of laps of this race. There you see Ankrum back in the 12th position on this restart. Corey Heim is in 11th, and the 11 truck, he's been really fast. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him fight his way to the front. See if we can see Keith hit. Wow, something just broke on that truck.
Had Greg on the right front of that truck and just turned him straight into the outside. Fortunately, safer barrier.
Yeah. We saw Ryan Blaney have a heck of a crash last night and walk away from it. Safer barriers, in my opinion, the biggest safety implementation we've ever seen in NASCAR. NASCAR continues to work on the cars and trucks, and safety's always been a moving target, but I'm really thankful to see that safer barrier there for Keith to bounce off of.
Going to restart with 49 to go. Holmes goes in the outside lane, inside Johnny Sauter. Sauter's got his teammate Bailey Curry right behind him.
And Stuart Friesen elected not to come fix that left front. He's going to stay on the track and push Bailey Curry. Wow, great start by that inside run.
Nice shove Johnny Sauter's getting.
Here comes Stewart. He's going to give Curry a big shove. I like that 88 truck. He's got a lot of speed, always right up there in the top 5.
Sauter's gotten pretty far out in front of that group. And with that, the outside lane with a rally. Jack Wood pushing Holmes. Right behind him, the 17, that's Taylor Gray.
Well, it looks like a pace lap right now, doesn't it? Stewart's going to lose a little front downforce, and it looked like he went a little bit wide on exit there in that blue truck. Third in line on the inside.
See guys trying to take it 3 wide. That hasn't worked yet tonight. That outside lane has just stalled straight out.
It's Corey LaJoie, that 7 truck leading that. Is that Ben Rhodes behind him in the 99?
Well, if it's going to work, it's getting ready to. And look at them joining with them.
Yeah, Sanchez is jumping up there. Daniel Dye, the red truck.
Look at this run.
Major momentum in the outside lane.
They're stalled out on the bottom, and here comes that outside. Hadn't worked all night long, and Corey LaJoie said, let me give it a whirl. 3 wide, is it going to work?
Jack Wood trying to hang on to it in the middle lane in that 91.
I don't like this.
This racetrack is narrow through this trial area here.
And the trucks like to dance through there. Not a lot of banking to be making a turn. They were scaring me to death too wide.
Yeah, I'm like you, Michael. I don't like this.
3 or 4 rows are 3 wide.
Corey LaJoie bails on the outside, but look what's happening with Ben Rhodes.
Sanchez pushing Rhodes in that outside lane.
Is that too much of a push? NASCAR said they're going to police that.
Jack Wood jumped to the inside right in front of Stuart Friesen to go under Corey LaJoie.
LaJoie now drops down to that inside lane.
That was crazy, the run LaJoie got up there.
Yeah, the outside is losing trucks. Only 3 trucks left on the outside right now.
3 rows back of us. Shove out front. You guys can get back working your way back up there.
Dean Thompson in the 5. Green machine. Tanner Gray in the 15 there. You see Torrey Breidinger right back up in the mix.
Here comes Ankrum on the inside of Stephen Parsons.
Stephen on the outside with Raja behind him. Oh, look at him dance.
How smart a race is Stuart Friesen running right now? Staying right on the bottom. He's lost some positions, but he knows that truck is aerodynamically challenged.
Look at that. That's amazing. He will not be able to lead a line, but he's following pretty nicely. Ooh, look at that shiny right rear, Phil. A little bit of tire rub there. Hope that thing doesn't go flat. You can tell how much it's rubbing.
Grant Enfinger in the 9. Surfacing at the front behind Corey LaJoie. He's second in that outside lane.
Ben Rhodes third in that outside line.
44 laps to go. We'll take you side by side with Brett Holmes leading the way at Daytona. Michael, what did you say earlier about you can be on the front row and still be in the middle of the mess, right?
Yes, the front row's been as scary as the middle of the pack, and it just happened as you didn't miss a thing as we went side by side, and our front trucks crashed.
You could be a leader, right?
Yes.
And get in trouble.
We saw the leader, Tyler Ankrum, several times sideways, and finally, around went Brett Holmes. Look at the block that Johnny throws on Corey LaJoie. And then that gets him squeezed out. And then Holmes down on the bottom of Sauter.
Is Bailey Curry going to come up and give him a bump? That 41 truck.
No, I think he just got loose.
Just got loose, and Bailey Curry goes around as well. Bailey's going to get into the inside safer barrier. Brett Holmes keeps his truck out of the safer barrier. Just got loose up off the corner.
We've seen it repeatedly. And maybe that run that Johnny Sauter had on the outside, he was down a little bit lower on Brett than he was used to.
Just pulled that rear end of that truck around.
That's the hardest part of this racetrack when you're on the inside of another truck, is getting off turn 4.
42 to go.
I think we pit, Adam.
I was going to say, what are you thinking here strategy-wise? Because we know we're outside the window, or at least in theory, but we've had so many cautions.
Yeah, most everybody does just that, because if you're counting, it trends, it's trending to be caution filled. Let's get to pit road and get it done.
Amanda?
You'll see Stewart freezing in his box, and aesthetically, if you look at the front of that truck, they want to make some adjustments there. No concern yet, but just afraid to, fix what might happen later on. 4 tires, there's going to be fuel, and Stewart will be back out. Regan?
45 of Johnny Sauter came to pit road. It was fuel only for him when he got down here. The crew chief, Phil Gould, played it very coy, said, I've got a plan. Didn't announce his plan until right as he entered pit road.
Sauter started on the front row, has led the most laps tonight, 23 out front.
Yeah, they got to work on that. The whole front end's caved in on that tire, and the tire will eventually fail. We saw the right rear was shiny as well. The rub back there, they might ought to go address that as well.
See, Majeski stalls his truck, trying to get out of his pit box. I like the strategy of stopping now, and we've had trucks go about 40 laps towards the end of the race in the past. But remember, prior to last year when we were rain shortened, the previous 4 races all finished in overtime.
By the way, 8 trucks stayed out. We'll reset the running order when we come back. 7th caution of the night for a 2-truck incident coming off of turn 4. Hey, Phil, why don't you go ahead and break down the strategy of this race? Because while we were away, all those trucks that stayed out, they decided to come down pit road.
Well, I can understand why they came down pit road. I just didn't understand why they didn't pit the lap before that. But now they have one more lap of fuel than the trucks that did, obviously.
Yeah, and also, I mean, is it time? Some of them thinking about bailing after watching the first 60 laps of this race, riding the back. I haven't seen any evidence of that, but as you can see, a lot of them aren't doubling up, so that could very well be the case.
But the other thought I had is if you come a lap later, you don't come with the entire field, which minimizes your chance of getting banged up when you make that pit stop.
Regan, what do you got on the 9?
Michael, I can tell you the 9 truck of Grant Enfinger was a truck that did not want to do what they did. They were trying to stick to a plan. Very frustrated that they didn't come down the first time pit road was open. Now he's in the back. He did not want to ride.
I think they're lined up to ride. What do you think, Phil?
Grant's not.
You can't make me ride.
Front row. Sanchez, the control truck. Outside of him, Johnny Sauter.
Corey LaJoie did not get a great start. That's the green truck. Dean Thompson right behind him. Now they're catching back up.
It changes in a hurry, doesn't it, Phil? You fall back to the truck behind you, and you just are shot ahead. That Crafton in the bright yellow truck up to 3rd.
What about all these second-year drivers that are up there? You got Sanchez, you got Taylor Gray, Daniel Dye, Corey Heim.
Taylor's been fun to watch. Just getting better and better.
New crew chief calling the shots, Jeff Hensley.
I like that matchup this year.
Absolutely.
And his older brother Tanner, who led a lap tonight, is right back in it in the 15.
Look at that left front fender on that truck. It's torn up.
See Ben Rhodes continually trying to peek out. He's trying to make something happen in that 3rd lane.
He's up there. See the blue truck 3 wide. We saw what happened when Corey LaJoie got something going up there. 3 good trucks right there in a line trying to make it work.
See Ben Rhodes trying to gain a little bit of momentum. You see that's the 5, Dean Thompson. There's Corey LaJoie in the 7. A little bit of a bump from Dean Thompson to Corey LaJoie. See if Ben can make any ground up in the corner here. A little bit of a separation between LaJoie and Thompson for a moment.
Getting some help there as you see Christian Eckes, Tyler Ankrum, Jack Wood, all trying to make it work on the outside. Meanwhile, below them, it's bobbling everywhere.
I saw somebody back off the throttle. I saw fire come out the exhaust pipes. Was that Dean Thompson possibly? Fellas, we still have 37 laps to go.
You wouldn't know it, would you?
Sure wouldn't.
You can see the gap. There are some trucks that have elected to get out of this hornet's nest, and I'm with them.
See a nice push by Corey LaJoie into the back.
Look at Eckes and Rhodes making up ground on that outside lane. Huge rally.
Yeah, the 46 of Johnny Sauter just kind of lost a little bit of momentum, and now he's broken away from the 43 of Daniel Dye.
Look at that. He's loose.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah,
that's debatable.
Yeah. I don't like it. He was loose when he was 2 wide. About lost it there in the middle of that pack.
Look at Jack Wood. Chase Purdy there.
You got to say one thing about Daniel Dye. He ain't afraid of nothing. He's kept us footed even though that thing's been out of whack.
A little bit of momentum now on that high side. Tyler Ankrum leading that group.
He's led 18 laps tonight as Ankrum.
Look what that push from Christian Eckes did to that 99 of Ben Rhodes.
Johnny Sauter squeezing down on Nick Sanchez.
Dean is half off you. Maintain that. 2 is with him. Maintain that.
Johnny's hung in the middle without a lot of help right now.
Ben Rhodes won this race 2021, went on to claim the championship. He's our reigning champ after getting it done again in 2023.
Adam, where did he start?
He started all the way in the back.
And how many times has he been back there since then?
Like 4 or 5.
Yeah, and now he's in the front again. What a race for Ben Rhodes.
And look at the biggest movers in the pylon since that last restart. Chase Purdy is plus 15. Eckes plus 14. And we talk about Ben Rhodes, up 12 spots since we returned to the green flag.
Are we getting our rhythm, Phil?
I think so. I'm glad we're just two wide now, not 3.
And we've got the first 6 or 8 that are single file. And that can change in 1 lap. If these guys could just string together 20, 30 laps, then it's going to get nuts again.
Rhodes, the race leader, Amanda.
Adam, you're talking about his championship in 21. He went on to be the runner-up in 22 and then again won last season. You know, they were talking a lot about dynasties last week, and I brought this word up to Ben Rhodes. He said, oh, I'm a boy from Kentucky. I don't even know what that word means. He says, I just want to show up when it's important.
Rhodes tonight has led 3 laps, and he has the field in tow right now. Race fans, we are staying with all the action here at Daytona, commercial free, with Crank It Up, sponsored by Craftsman. Grab your phone now and get ready to scan the QR code for the Craftsman deal of the race.
Craftsman's back on track with Deal of the Race. During this year's Craftsman Truck Series, we're giving race fans rockin' deals on tools to power through projects. Because teams and fans alike trust Craftsman to get the job done right.
Low-profile ratchets get it done. If you got a garage, this better be in it. Get into tight spaces fast.
Scan now for the current Deal of the Race. From outdoor care to home and auto repair. Do it fast. Do it proud.
Do it with Craftsman.
We've got a whole lot going on here.
Was that an intense crank it up or what?
Ben Rhodes on pit road, Amanda.
They are cranking it up down here. They're going to take 2 tires on the left-hand side of the truck. Ben Rhodes, all he did was scream to his team, tire, tire, and made a dip into the pit road.
And that was because of the contact we saw during crank it up. Big contact for Ben Rhodes, and it gave him a flat tire. Came to pit road. He's going to lose a lap.
Yeah, Tyler Rankin made hard contact. Got to believe as Daniel Dye dips off the racetrack that maybe there was a push gone bad or something like that, and that pushed Ankrum into Ben Rhodes.
How about that save by Chase Purdy? Looked like contact from behind from Christian Eckes, and somehow he hangs on to it, and now he's got Sanchez in his hip pocket.
Watch this big contact with Ben Rhodes sideways, and then bam, Ankrum down into him after a push by Purdy. A push gone wrong. Look at that. I can't believe they didn't crash.
I can't either.
We were on board, and it was just like a body slam.
Listen to this. And if it wasn't for Ben Rhodes, Ankrum's crashed, but it bounced him straight.
Christian Eckes now taking over the lead in that outside lane. A little push from Corey LaJoie.
Chase Purdy up to third, battling tight in this race. How about Stephen Parsons into the top 5 for the first time today?
He's just been laying in the weeds.
Yes, he
right?
has. Driving like a true veteran.
Tyler Ankrum, backside of the top 10.
Clear bottom, clear bottom. Tell me what happened into 3 there so I know. Run was coming too fast. I was not going to block it. I just want to ride on the bottom. It's only lap 71.
Is that Rhodes again?
Yeah.
That's him losing his lap. Oh, he's going to crash.
There goes Ben Rhodes.
I don't know about that move.
Caution is out. 8th one of the night.
You talked about him. He was getting lapped, and he was in the middle of all those trucks.
You know, he's probably wanting to catch the draft. I don't know what happened, but, you know, a lot of times you just bail up to the high side and let everybody go under you as he was losing his lap.
And then rely on getting a free pass next time. Take your penalty and rely on that free pass.
We'll have to get a look at what happened.
It popped in halfway in 3 and 4. I felt it going. I tried to get up out of the way last second. I don't know what to say about that.
Sounds like he agreed with us.
Yeah.
He should have gotten up out of the way. I don't know why.
He was trying to. I think he said he popped, so maybe he cut a tire down.
Well, because of the contact, maybe the tire blew out and he was trying to get out of the way.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, you see there, they're beating on the fender.
Yeah. And it happens so often when you get a flat tire because of a tire rub and you really don't get it pulled out enough or beat out enough and you get another flat.
So Ben, the veteran that he is, was trying to get out of the way and the tire, he says, popped. Yeah, it went.
Yeah, it's gone now, and he's doing all he can do.
Pretty remarkable.
To try to keep that.
That he's hanging on to it right here.
And eventually.
Look at it turn sideways. And then he catches Tanner Gray in the 15 truck.
Luckily, no more trucks were involved than were.
Sure could have been.
Now we ride on board with Ben Rhodes.
Looks like Tony Breitinger had a little bit of contact as well.
She got damaged. We mentioned Tanner Gray. That 15 truck has really gotten beaten up in this race.
But he continues to march on. I don't know when.
Look at Corey Heim.
Ty Majeski, both drivers that have had some problems tonight, despite the fact that they've had solid trucks, and they're able to make it through this unscathed.
These caution laps will help those drivers trying to make 40 laps on this run.
That was a fun run. Wasn't a lot of action.
First time tonight we had really developed a rhythm.
Yes, sir. I think that's the end of the day for Ben.
They knew he was here for sure today.
Yeah, and the contact from Ankrum into the side of Ben, you know, it's just tight racing in the draft, flattened a tire, and they pitted and changed tires, and then it blew out again.
Ben Rhodes started at the back after making some adjustments to his truck post-qualifying. Drove his way to the front, led 5 laps. 25 remaining at Daytona. Under our 8th caution, our reigning champ cut a tire and lost control. Back at Daytona, aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, powering every lap, every mile, and every victory on the road ahead. Goodyear, more driven. Getting down to it. It's been a long night. Had a weather delay and a whole lot more going on. Let's hear from the champ, Amanda.
One of the things you never want to see is the crew chief of the champ pushing the truck back to the garage. And Rich, you look over what happened in this race, you guys being able to make it up to the front. Describe the disgust that you may have feeling right now.
It's definitely disappointment. I feel like we had a great F-150 ranch fuel truck, and we showed how fast it was by going from dead last to the front. And I thought we had a chance to win this thing, and people can't hold their line on the outside lane, and drove in the right side of us and then cut down the right front tire, and I guess the rest is history.
What are you going to say to Ben?
I'm going to tell him he did a great job, like always, and just we'll go get him at Atlanta.
Thank you.
Ben Rhodes, the defending champ, had one DNF a season ago, and he won't finish here tonight, obviously.
Well, Corey LaJoie's been one of the strongest trucks all night long. He's fought his way to the front a couple of times, and here he finds himself on the inside, leading the race, coming to the green here.
23 laps to go. LaJoie inside of Sanchez.
What about Chase Purdy? He ended the 2023 season so strong, and here he is fighting for a chance to win at Daytona.
If Chevrolet's lined up on the inside.
Couple of Chevys getting it done in the outside. Christian Eckes, huge push on Nick Sanchez. Taylor Gray comes through and dives to the inside lane.
The inside line looked organized, but they didn't have any momentum when they got down to turn one.
I think you can give that big push to Christian Eckes, getting a hold to the back of that 2 truck, Nick Sanchez, and catapulting him to the lead. But they're going to catch up to him. You can only get so far ahead, and the draft takes over. And look at Corey LaJoie. He wants to go to the outside. He's going to pick up a push from Chase Purdy, who squeezes in front of Tyler Ankrum.
His teammate said, "I'll go with you, bud."
Now Sanchez is going to move up in front of Eckes.
Man, when you start switching lanes like Sanchez is, that's a risky game. It's all about timing, and you pull down 1 second, a half a second too late, and you'll find yourself spun out.
And we see that all the time in the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, but these trucks, the closing rate on these trucks is way different than those cars.
Look at Stephen Parson in the ballpark truck. He's right there with Taylor Gray. Jack Wood behind him. Corey LaJoie up top.
Trying to get back. It's a push, and he's going to push him sideways.
There goes Eckes around. Right into Parsons. Johnny Sauter gets a piece. And other drivers scattering to miss the accident. Caution number 9.
Man. What a mess. Eckes, Sauter, Parsons, right there battling for the lead.
Eckes has flat tires. Dean Thompson already on pit road. Johnny Sauter's hood askew.
I don't know who's going to win this thing, but we continue to eliminate some really, really good contenders.
Yes, and it's really tough to watch. Is this a push gone awry, or did Christian just get loose? Looked like maybe Taylor Gray came up a bit, huh, Phil?
Yeah, I think so.
And maybe that caused Christian to turn to the right a bit, and then it went around. Let's see what Danny Dye sees. He's going to see a lot.
Really nice job by Daniel Dye.
Right place at the right time, but didn't panic. Rolled out of the gas and just kept his truck pointed straight.
Boy, Stephen was absolutely in the wrong place at the wrong time. A lot of damage to that ballpark, Chevrolet.
How many drivers have said that over the years racing at Daytona? Wrong place, wrong time.
Does a heck of a job hanging on to it after that contact. He's on pit road along with Christian Eckes, Dean Thompson.
Right front corner of that truck is gone.
Corey LaJoie in the middle of all that.
I don't think I was on him. I just think that he was in a bad aero spot. Yeah, the front of the 77 is just like a wedge.
Yeah, I don't think he was on him either. I believe it was just that truck moved up and Christian had to move to the right a bit and then around it went.
Sanchez tonight has led 6, going to be 7 laps when he comes around this time. He leads all winless drivers in trucks in laps led over 300 and counting, and he's not been able to find his way to victory lane. Sauter's led the most laps tonight. Ben Rhodes spent 5 circuits out front. He's with Amanda.
Adam, before he headed into the care center, he said this is the worst possible thing that could happen. And when you look at the valiant effort from yourself and your team tonight, would you say this one was taken from you?
I wouldn't go that far. Nothing's given at Daytona. Just feel embarrassed for the late race, or that late, move that I made to go to the top. I felt the tires start to go down at that point. I was too fast to get to the apron, so I thought I could go to the top and, get up by the wall and not include anybody in the wreck. Feel bad for those that got involved, but it all stems from us leading and the outside cars door slamming us, right? So I don't know what happened from that, but that's what led to this series of unfortunate events. Just hate it for everybody at Ranch Fuel, Ford, Thorsport Racing. We had a really good showing today, and would love to get them in victory lane, kick off our season with a good, good high note, right? I think points are more important than people realize, but yeah, most embarrassing was pulling up, trying to salvage it, and not involve anybody, and then ends up, getting a lot of people involved. So hate that for everybody. Sorry.
Your crew chief, Rich Lucas, said great job tonight. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, there was, fortunately, great driving by the whole field. When he didn't get to the top, they split him, and only a couple of trucks got a bump in that thing, and so it could have been a lot worse if it weren't for some heads-up driving.
Regan?
Adam, you were mentioning a few moments ago, Nick Sanchez in the laps that he's leading right now. Keep in mind, earlier in the race, caught up in the very first incident, and got to give credit to his crew chief, Bono Mannion. These guys did a wonderful job of orchestrating calmly how to repair the truck, get it repaired as quick as they could so they could get him back into the action with everything the way it needed to be, and it is showing right now. He's got good speed. Nick told me earlier today, his focus this season is stage 3. He does not care about the early parts of the races. He wants to be better at the end. He's got an opportunity to show that right now where he's running in the lead.
I feel like regardless who wins tonight, we're going to say it was a great comeback, because almost every driver has faced some form of adversity. 19 to go. Sanchez, Taylor Gray, LaJoie, Purdy, and Wood, the top 5 under caution. Going to be 16 laps to go when we return to the green flag here at Daytona. Craftsman Truck Series opening up 2024. We've cleaned up our 9th caution of the night. I look at our top 10. Some great stories up there because there are so many drivers that have never experienced victory lane, and here they are, very much alive late in the going at Daytona.
You see Jack Wood right there up on the top 5. Jack's never had a top 5 before. Brett Holmes in 6th, having great runs.
What about Holmes? He was sliding off the corner, around backwards, was able to save it out of the wall. Matt Crafton, that early wreck, he was involved in it, and still battling for a top 5 finish. Majeski's truck was really fast early. Haven't heard from him lately, but he's surfaced up toward the front again.
A couple of penalties, miscues on pit road that have hurt their track position, but man, always right there.
I just, you know, of all the veterans out there, Matt Crafton, looking at all this craziness going on, but yet he just keeps his nose stuck right up in it. That's a guy that's got a lot of fight in him right there.
Remember, it wasn't that many years ago that Matt Crafton came off of turn 2 on the last lap with a lead and was upside down by the time he got to the middle of the backstretch.
That's a lasting image when it comes to the trucks at Daytona. Sanchez, LaJoie, side by side for the restart.
That 77 truck that's behind LaJoie has been a strong pusher tonight, and you can see the front 2 rows are toe-to-toe.
Those are Spire teammates. Spire made the purchase of KBM, Kyle Busch Motorsports, and they've got trucks in the hunt to win it. Sanchez driving for Rev Racing. They're a partner at Spire, and he is out front, getting a push from Taylor Gray.
That's the 2nd restart in the row that Corey LaJoie has not been able to keep pace initially.
Ty Majeski pulls up in front of him, trying to take advantage of that run that he felt like Corey LaJoie was going to make.
Back through the tri-oval. Under green. It's our Craftsman, 15 to go. Brett Holmes hanging tough.
He just has to go to the top side.
Green and white car, or green and white truck rather, moving to the outside lane, as Michael said.
Majeski's gets pushed to the outside now. He's by himself in the 3rd lane in that black truck.
This lead pack, Phil, is getting ready to catch the lapper of Matt Mills, who's reduced speed. He pulls off the racetrack. That's a smart move. Trying to go 3 wide this late in the race with a slow truck could have been disastrous. Whoa, Mills up high, very, very loose was Holmes. This is so aggressive.
Got trouble again. Tony Breidinger in the 1. The 5 is Dean Thompson. Teammates at Tricon. It produces our 10th caution of the night.
Ooh, just kisses the inside safer barrier. See, right front tire is flat on the 1 of Tony Breidinger.
She's done a great job tonight.
She sure has. She's kept her nose clean. She was involved in a couple scrapes, but not of her doing, certainly.
She's going to race on as well. I think she's going to be able to make repairs to that truck, as is the green machine of Dean Thompson.
It's Mason Massey in the 0-2. Let's see if we can see what happened. Something happened to Mason Massey, it looks like, and he slows on the racetrack. And Tony and the 5 are running nose to tail in the 5. I think gets in the back of Tony, pushes her in to Mason Massey.
What a great job by Stuart Friesen. He had to just patiently sit there and watch those trucks spin and was able to slip through there.
Closing on 10 laps remaining. Under caution one more time for the trucks at Daytona. Looking forward to college basketball that comes your way next out in the Mountain West, New Mexico, San Diego State. And on FS2, roughly 10:30 Eastern time, will be ARCA racing coverage. They've moved that race from tomorrow to tonight to make sure they can get it in and beat the rain. You can watch it on FS2, and then when basketball wraps up here on FS1, you can watch the conclusion of the ARCA season opener on FS1, and you can watch it all on the Fox Sports app.
I love the Fox Sports app. Catch up with a lot of news and sports there. What do you say we finish this thing without another caution? What do you think, Phil?
I don't know. I don't feel great about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see it, but
I'm in.
I'm not optimistic, I should say. What a job Nick Sanchez has been able to do tonight. Got involved. You see the damage to the left rear quarter panel of that Gamebridge Chevrolet. Let's see if Michael, see if you can grab him on the radio.
Nick Sanchez, it's Waltrip and the team on the Fox Sports side. How you doing?
Doing good.
What a crazy race it's been, but you find yourself in control here late. How's the truck driving, and can you hang on?
Yeah, I mean, the truck's driving good. I think it's better out front, and yeah, I think we could hopefully hang on. There's been a lot of chaos. We've been included in it, so hopefully we just stay out of it.
Yeah, it's been a crazy race, so hang in there. Just wanted to check in. Thanks for talking with us.
Appreciate it.
That's fun for me. I mean, they're in the heat of the battle, but they always
cool
know.
as a cucumber.
Yeah, just like I'm his spotter.
I said it a moment ago. All these drivers in the top 10 that have never won. You got Sanchez, and we've told his story. Taylor Gray, the youngest driver in the field, couldn't compete in this race a year ago because he hadn't turned 18, and here he is, second year running for the championship and second on track. He's had an impressive ride tonight. Jack Wood doing a nice job in third.
Jack Wood is doing a great job. Limited schedule here for BMR Racing. That truck doesn't look like it has a mark. Maybe a little bit of a mark on the left front by the left front headlight, but Jack doing a super job here.
We were giving love earlier to Spire. At that time, Rajah Caruth was not in the top 10. Here he is, the best of the Spire team right now, fourth, Michael.
It's been a great run for Rajah. We know he's got the talent behind the wheel to get to victory lane, and it's really cool to see him pace himself and get to this position. Look at his progression. Steadily toward the front. Very great spirit, too. I mean, just loves what he gets to do.
And a smart race by that young man.
Yes, sir.
He's a college student, taking classes. He told me in the garage yesterday, I had to miss a Zoom for one of my classes, so he'll have some homework when he's done tonight or sometime over the weekend. You go back there in fifth, Tyler Ankrum.
He's been one of the strongest trucks all night long. Led the race, had a very loose truck, was able to hang on to it, and he finds himself in a position to win here at Daytona.
Yeah, second stage winner, Tyler Ankrum.
And what about Corey LaJoie? Corey LaJoie is still my favorite. I said before the race he's going to win it, and he's certainly in a position to do so.
I just wonder what's wrong with Corey's truck on these restarts. He's been on the front of one line or there, the outside line, I think, and he just loses ground so much through 1 and 2.
What about that new team in 7th? Spencer Boyd up inside the top 10 with his new ride.
He's a super speedway winner at Talladega.
Look at all the trucks taking the bottom. Corey LaJoie says, I'll take advantage of that. He's going to restart on the outside of the front row, outside second row.
24 trucks on the lead lap. We'll have 9 laps remaining when we go green.
Update on Stephen Parsons. We saw him in that wreck. They got that truck repaired. He's still on the lead lap in the 20th position. Cody Robaugh just ahead of him in the 97. He's in 19th, and we saw Bailey Curry into the inside wall. He's got his truck fixed up. He's in 18th. So they're damaged, but they're not done.
Stephen was doing a great job running up in the top 5.
Look at that truck just snap out from underneath Brett Holmes.
There's Bailey Curry. You mentioned him getting into the inside wall.
Watch how hard he hits.
Hits it pretty hard, but they've made repairs. And there's Ben Rhodes getting hit by Tyler Ankrum, and then he comes back on the racetrack, cuts another tire down, and causes this little melee, which he apologized profusely for. And there's the one I was talking about, Stephen running in the top 5. Christian Eckes gets turned into him.
That was a big one.
Johnny Sauter also involved, one of the strongest trucks we've had all night.
Some heads-up driving there from a couple of truckers that.
The Dean Thompson, Jordan Breitinger.
Look at Doza.
Ryan
Just able
Doza.
to squeeze through there, calmly gets on the brakes and makes it through that wreck.
I mentioned 24 trucks on the lead lap. The last of those, Christian Eckes, who just picked up the free pass under this, our 10th caution of the evening. Sanchez Carruth, 2 second-year drivers on the front row. Restart, 9 laps remaining.
An early push by the 7 of Corey LaJoie on Raja. Corey might not be able to lead these restarts, but he can darn sure push them.
Raja Carruth jumps out front, drafting help from his teammate. That would be Corey LaJoie.
Are they too far out there, Michael?
We're going to find out.
Look at this run they're going to have.
Big push. Gray on Sanchez. The 2 is on point again. Jack Wood is there. So is Tyler Ankrum.
They got too far out, didn't they?
Yeah, but it ain't over. I mean, this is such intense racing. These restarts are hectic, and then you hope that they can just settle in, but it's not going to happen. We're inside of 10 to go, and there's a trophy in Daytona on line.
Chase Purdy trying to push Ankrum in that second lane.
Brett Holmes hanging around. Don't write off Daniel Dye. Grant Infinger is hanging in that outside lane as well.
Look at Corey Heim. He's fought his way up to the top 5. Just outside of the top 5 and 6, and he's got 4 fresh tires. And the way these guys are racing, that could be an advantage.
71 and 7 rebounding together. Carruth, a push from LaJoie. Sanchez pulls up to cover him.
That's a bold move when you slide up the racetrack like that, knowing there's a push coming.
Grant Infinger jumps to the outside to make it 3 wide. Nobody's going with him.
7 to go. Inside lane has it gathered up. Taylor Gray.
Oh!
Raja turned Nick Sanchez sideways. What a save.
See what he can do now. Give him a push on the back.
Ooh,
oh, there
Tyler
goes the
Ankrum
truck.
out of shape. Caution is out. Contact with Purdy. Eckes gets a piece as well.
We've seen how loose that truck's been all night long.
We said we didn't think that we would go to the end without another caution.
Chase Purdy with big damage there on the 77 Bama Buggies truck.
11th caution of the night, matches the track record.
I can't believe Sanchez saved that truck.
It was turned sideways getting in the corner.
At 190 miles an hour.
There's Timmy Hill in the 56 truck coming to pit road. Chase will take the mandatory trip to the infield care center.
There's the 18 truck. We know how loose it's been, like I said, and he finally had it get away from him. Watch this save. This is incredible. Raja right on the back with a push, entering the corner.
Woo! And that's worse than it even looked.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Watch the 70. Watch the orange and blue truck. That's the 18 of Ankrum. You've got the 77 of Purdy right behind him. He's going to pull up and push him. And it just turned him to the inside. Then he tried to save it.
It pushed him sideways.
Everybody else here just nowhere to go. Christian Eck is getting involved as well.
This is ugly.
Going to get another look at it here. It's amazing no more trucks were involved than there were, guys.
I was going to say, you know, it's Ankrum that gets shoved out of line and collects some others, but they're all just dancing around. They seem so unstable in the draft.
As always, Daniel Dye gives us great pictures of everything. And I think the trend from last year is continuing. Everything happens right in front of Daniel Dye.
Yeah, but this year it's happening up at the front. Last year he's running mid-pack.
Which is better, I think.
Better, I think, but I'm not sure.
He's had a good night. Picked up 7 stage points and has survived so many of these crashes. Ty Majeski was nearly collected in that. Got maybe a little front end damage, but he was able to drive through.
Turns out he's doing all he can do to control that truck, and it just gets away from him. Then he turns down into chase. Timmy Hill does a nice job avoiding that, just going through the grass. Christian makes contact with Ankrum.
Look at that off-roading that Timmy Hill's doing through the infield grass, jumping up in the air.
We saw Grant Enfinger do that earlier. He's in the top 10 right now.
Still showing more than 20 trucks on the lead lap.
I can't believe there's more than 20 trucks on the track.
I was going to say we're going to run out of trucks, but the reality is we still have a bunch hanging.
They're still in the cleanup mode. The laps are winding down here. We get to the start-finish line. There will be 4 to go in the scheduled distance.
We're knocking on the door of overtime tonight.
This is the point in the race where if you tell your crew chief you think you need a pit, he's going to tell you we're closed.
We've left. Our pit crew left.
We've loaded up.
With Sanchez out front, will step aside. Could it be career victory #1 for the driver out of Miami? We've tied the record for cautions for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series here at Daytona. So we have pushed back the start of the ARCA event. We originally thought we'd go green around 10:30. That's not going to happen. Whenever we do get it going, it'll be live on FS2. And after basketball, which follows us on FS1, you can come back to FS1 and watch the conclusion of the ARCA season opener.
That was a shot of our front row. Willie Mullins in the 3 car got the pole, and Tim Richmond in the 27 will be to his outside.
Just hit 4 to go for the trucks. Telling some of the stories of our top 10 earlier. Tanner Gray, I feel like he's been in the middle of 7 or 8 of our 11 cautions.
What
he's
about
in the top
Holmes?
10. Holmes, I mean, he spun out when he was leading this thing. He's 9th right now. Ty Majeski started on the pole, and he's had a host of issues still in the top 10.
Raja, Waltrip and the team on Fox. Do you copy? Man, thought I was on a roll. Maybe he's on channel 2. I'm going to check that. Raja, it's Waltrip and the Fox team. Do you copy? He doesn't copy. Raja's done a heck of a job. I just wanted to ask him what it felt like to be in this position to go chase this victory right there on the heels of Sanchez. Does he pick high? Does he pick low? Amanda, what's Raja saying?
I can tell you he was talking with his crew chief about that last restart. You'll remember him and Corey LaJoie kind of pulled off from the pack. He was walking him through what to do on this one. He immediately asked on the radio how his new teammate Chase Purdy was doing. But when I saw him earlier in the garage today, he was in a long conversation with Grant Ingfinger. I walked over and I said, "Hey, what's going on here, guys?" And Raja said, "We're forever teammates."
Here we go. 1 to go. This could decide it all.
Raja's going to jump to the outside and go side by side with Sanchez.
He's going to look in his mirror, see who's coming to push. I'm hoping it's Corey LaJoie if I'm Raja.
Looks like that's what it's going to be.
He had a heck of a push on the last restart. He's got a
Overtime rules. Going to get an extra lap tonight of action, at least one. 2-lap shootout. If the leader comes back around and takes the white flag, the next flag ends the race, whether it's the caution or the checkers. But if the caution comes out prior to that white flag, we'll reset and do it again. Here's Sanchez radio.
I really want to win, but at the end, I just want to bring it home with a good finish if we can't win.
Yeah, I mean, aggressively safe is what I like to say. You know, it's not aggressively stupid.
10-4.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in that truck looking out the front windshield leading this race. I'm going to do whatever it takes.
I'm good with not being stupid, but this is Daytona.
Aggressively safe. That's a phrase I've never heard.
Well, it's one that's not going to work either. We're just going to go for it.
You never know when you'll get an opportunity to win Daytona again.
That's right. And look at some of the names up front. Sanchez, Caruth, Taylor Gray, Wood, and there's Corey LaJoie. Still in it, still fighting for the victory.
And Matt Crafton. He's never missed the playoffs in his career. A win tonight, and he's going back again.
Let's do this, boys.
Can we get 2 laps in?
I hope.
Just need one, really, to make it official before we get the caution. Overtime at Daytona. Sanchez, Caruth on the front row.
Great start by Sanchez, but Caruth and LaJoie are coming hard on the outside. Remember Corey Heim, fresher tires. Can he use those to push harder?
He's been quiet all night long, but here he is, set up to maybe steal it late.
Remember the rule about pushing. They said they were going to enforce that.
LaJoie all over his teammate out front. Raja Caruth to the point. Outside comes Taylor Gray pushing Nick Sanchez.
Nice move by Sanchez to swing to the outside. LaJoie's come unhooked from Carruth.
Remember, once we get the white flag, the next flag will end the race. And the white flag is out. Nick Sanchez, your leader. Jack Wood is up to second.
Taylor Gray right there fighting for a win, too.
Corey Heim in the mix. Ty Majeski is there.
Raja sideways, hangs onto it.
Sanchez will try to work both. Oh, trouble.
And there's a crash. Caution is out. The race is over. Trucks up in the air. Nick Sanchez leading when the caution flag came out.
Is that?
Good job, boys.
He is going to bring it back around to the checkers. Nick Sanchez, when he was 5, taken to a race at Homestead, Miami by his uncle. He fell in love with NASCAR. And the Florida kid going to win for the first time in his career at Daytona International Speedway.
How about that? Raja's going to end up second.
Raja did a great job there, just come up a little bit short. There's Corey LaJoie caught up in this wreck.
We saw a truck upside down. It looked like an orange truck. Certainly don't want to speculate and be wrong. Daniel Dye, who did such a nice job, also caught up in this last lap incident. See Daniel taking his helmet off. That's a good sign. Christian Eckes.
What a night for Christian Eckes.
It's fitting. This race ends under caution. 12 of them tonight, a new track record.
I believe that was Taylor Gray that was over.
Yeah, I think it was an orange truck for sure. But that's him standing beside the truck.
Yeah, it was the best case scenario of flipping, because he's went up in the air and landed on other trucks and softly sat down. If you got to flip, I mean, that's how you would like it to go down.
A scary scene, but we're seeing a lot of drivers walking around outside their trucks, and we're thankful for that.
Reason we're not showing you the pylon with the running order is because NASCAR will have to go back and determine where people were running at the time of the caution, and they had to maintain speed too. They can't just be crashing and then cross that timing line. Let's see what happens here. Raja gets into Jack Wood, turns him around. Watch the 17. Just contact from Daniel Dye, turns him over.
Bailey Curry in the middle of that mess. Matt Crafton sliding along. He keeps his truck pointed in the right direction. Look at Matt storm out of there.
Let's ride with Daniel Dye.
Our Fox In Race reporter.
And cameraman. Oh, wow.
Unbelievable impact.
Daniel had no idea there was going to be a truck right in front of him when he went down that straightaway.
Or on top of him, either
exactly.
one.
We've been given the top 3 by NASCAR. Nick Sanchez, Corey Heim, Raja Carruth.
First win Daytona.
That's a good way to do it.
How does it get any better than that? We saw last year how talented this young racer was, and how a win was just right around the corner.
He was a mile and a half away from winning Texas last year. Got turned around on the last lap.
To Regan Smith.
Well, Nick Sanchez grabs the checkered flag. Nick, you have been so close so many times in the Truck Series last year. You come to Daytona, you get your first career win. How does it feel?
Pretty surreal, especially with how the race started. I'm covered in dirt from it. But just a big thanks to my team, you know, sticking with me all last year. We were winless. It hurt. We should have won. But we redeemed ourselves in the first race possible. So big thanks to Rev Racing, Inspire, Max Eagle, Gainbridge, Dan Towers, everyone that helps us, and it's definitely going to be a good year.
Nick Sanchez, your Craftsman Truck Series winner in Daytona.
You know what? The news just keeps getting better and better. Winner at Daytona. When he gets to victory lane, he's going to be like, playoffs as well. That's a bonus. But when you win at Daytona, it's all about the trophy that you receive here.
Amanda?
Well, Corey, they say that Daytona is a lot of being at the right place when it matters. You had a relatively quiet night, made it up to the front. How did you make that happen?
I guess just not wrecking for the most part. First of all, I hope everyone's okay. That was crazy to see in my mirror. Looked bad. But second of all, what a SHIT show. I mean, that was crazy. Like, I mean, I've never avoided so many wrecks in my life. I can't believe I have a clean truck. But I'm not going to complain about it. It's truck racing. It happens. But super proud of Truck on Garage and Toyota Racing. Got a little bit of work to do for Talladega with the speed of this thing. But I thought the best strategy for me was to lay low and hopefully be there at the end. And we were. And looks like we came up one short.
That is scary looking.
It's just amazing.
But like you said, that's about as soft as you can turn one over.
That's exactly right. And it didn't just keep tumbling either, like we've seen happen so many times. I don't know if Raja just lost the front end of his number 71 Chevy or what went down there, but he definitely went up the track and made contact. Look at that mess. Phil, did you see Stefan sliding through there anywhere?
He did get through there, yes.
Watch this, just out of nowhere. Smoke, smoke. Truck. Now,
watch it hit the roof. Man, oh man. That's on the list of things you don't want to see out your windshield.
There goes those
There's the hot dog going by.
Ballpark Frank squeezing through.
Amanda?
Raja, there was many ways that I was going to go in this conversation with you, but I saw you hand the phone back that you were just on, and the name said Rick Hendrick. What did that conversation go?
Yeah, it's all because of him, you know, being in this spot. So I'm really thankful for Mr. H and the Hendrick Automotive Group, along with Spire Motorsports and Chevy, because the only reason I got a ride this year. I feel pretty bad about the backstretch there. Corey was doing a great job pushing, and you hate to see, you know, trucks get torn up like that. But sucks to be that close, but definitely happy for Nick. He's been deserving for a long time and great for the company.
Thank you, Raja.